Epstein files bill compelling the release of the Epstein files, and the vote was overwhelming.
On this vote, the yeas are 427, the nays are 1.
We have some breaking news to tell you about from Capitol Hill. The bill to release the Epstein files has passed by unanimous consent in the United States Senate. It now heads to Donald Trump's desk.
Well, there it is, guys. It's official. It went through the Senate, it went through the House, and onto Donald Trump's desk. And the most magical thing about this entire adventure is that we got the Democrats up front celebrating that they did this, even though they did not do it alone, because we all know that they had it for 4 years when they were fully in control and nothing happened. But, hey, the next question is, what now? What is going to happen now that these files are going to be released? And the number one thing you got to understand is day 1, you're going to see nothing. Day 30, you're probably not going to see nothing. They're going to have to compile all this information, all these files, all this evidence from the FBI, from the local police at the West Palm Beach Police Department. There's people down in southern New York. There's a district with a lot of information. There was police that were on the Virgin Islands over by what was it called? Little John Island? No, it wasn't Little John. But anyways, it's going to be a lot of compiling of information, and they've already released over 30,000 emails and files. The Trump administration has already done 30,000 files. So the crazy thing is how many victim lines that have to be removed, because they are not going to expose victims' names, which is bullshit, because look how many victims are coming out and just standing in front of Congress. Like, if they're showing their face and calling for accountability, can't we say their names? But anyways, what's going to happen next is after they're done redacting all the victim names, it's going to go on to a committee on with the government, where they're going to take a look at what could be released, and they're going to assess what to release in I guess news conferences. You know, they might hand out folders kind of like Pam Bondi was doing. But I feel like it's going to be publicly available to be looked at. If I know how Trump did the JFK files, the MLK files, and multiple other, I guess, high priority files that got released, is it's going to be on a public domain where you could search this and you could look into it all you want. And I know Ian Carroll, I know all these people that love clickbait shit they're gonna be swimming in it. They're gonna be going through everything. So the only thing I could say is use discernment, because right now is an easy time to share whatever you want about this subject. You could literally just make shit up. So the thing is, what's going to happen with these files being released is we don't really know who's going to release them. You're going to be seeing influencers pop up left and right. I am not going to be covering who's in it. I'm just saying this is what happens next. The files get released, the names. It's going to take 3 months to redact the first batch of files, where they're going to remove all the victims' names. Who knows if they're removing other shit. But anyways, after the redaction, then they're going to pick and choose what files they're going to release in news conferences with their little folders and blah, blah, blah. But like I said, it's going to become publicly available as they're released in batches. And that's when we're going to see these influencers digging through the cracks and trying to find whatever they can. But that's when accountability is going to start coming in. That's when people are going to see what crimes were committed to who, by who, and people are going to start calling for accountability. Now, make your voice be heard. If you're seeing these CEOs and people from major corporations or media outlets, like you're seeing their names, don't use their products, even if they switch out their CEO. But if you've been paying attention this whole Epstein thing, like I have for the past 6 years, you realize that they already had so many CEOs step down as soon as it started becoming public knowledge. So you're going to say, who is that guy? Oh, he used to work for it. No, he's still getting kickbacks from it. But you're going to see a collapse in microeconomies. You're going to see attacks on brands and companies. You're going to see world leaders named. You're going to see Prince Andrew. His family already outed him out of the family. He's not allowed to go to events. Like, there's other world leaders and powerful people, celebrities. So all these people that vote based off of how celebrities tell you to vote, like, they're going to look a little stupid once they're listed in this bullshit. But if you take a look, here's Virginia. All right. She is one of the most prominent girls.
Underage and forced to have sex with high-profile men, including Prince Andrew. For his part, Andrew has always denied D.E.V.III.N's allegations. She died by suicide earlier this year, but D.E.V.III.N's co-author says another powerful man came up in their conversations. Have a listen.
Did she mention President Trump at all in your discussion?
Oh, she absolutely did. She was a huge Trump fan because he campaigned on releasing the Epstein files.
So Virginia, guys, that's Virginia, one of the most prominent. She traveled all over the world with Epstein and Maxwell, and she was cheering on the release of these files. She said many times, "I am not suicidal," and guess what? She got suicided. But anywho, she was in the thick of it. She saw it all. She named names. She said Prince Andrew. That people say that she had like a dead man switch, where if anything were to happen, she would release more information. But I'm sure it's all in depositions. It's in grand jury testimonies. And speaking of the grand jury testimonies, this is probably the most important thing you got to realize, is that this information has been getting spilled out by Trump for a long time. Here's back before he was president the very first time. So listen to what he's got to say right here.
Bill Clinton. Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yep. So he was talking about it before it was even a thing. And if you're guilty of something, why would you bring it into the light? On top of that, like we've said, the Democrats have had this information for a very long time. They had it for 4 years straight, where they're 100% in power. And this gets recited over and over again. And the Democrats are just using language like they're pedoprotectors and whatnot. But listen to this. It breaks it down perfectly.
The Democrats had every one of the Epstein files in their possession for the 4 long years of the Biden administration. The Biden Department of Justice had the files the entire time. And not a single one of the people who are so loud and animated right now, they never said anything about it for all those 4 years. None of them held press conferences. None of them demanded the release of the documents. And under Biden's DOJ, when they prosecuted just Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, not a single one of these Democrats or any of the proponents of the discharge ever made any noise about that at all. So it's fair for the American people to ask the question, why now? Why suddenly are they so interested? They have such an urgent interest in the Jeffrey Epstein matter. The truth is simple and straightforward and obvious for anyone who is willing to look at it objectively. Clearly, this is a political exercise for Democrats and a few others, sadly, and it is as deceitful and dishonest as their pointless stunt to shut down the government. Same ideology behind this. Democrats are trying to...
Yep, exactly. That's what we're all seeing, the same exact Democrat tactics, where they will deflect or they'll project what they want you to feel. The Democrats' magical power is they can take your brain and they can make you feel a certain way based off of the language they're using. And they've constantly used it with Trump, where they say he's a racist, he's a fascist, blah, he's a Nazi, he's this, he's that. And it's just extreme projection of something that's far from the truth. If you think of the Fine People hoax, when they were like, oh, he's supporting neo-Nazis, but you watch the entire video and guess what you see? You see that he was saying, when in regards to the statues, he was saying during the Civil War there was great people on both sides. All right, there was great generals, there was great battles, there was people moving the country in a direction. Like, if you don't like the past of our country, yeah, you can't change it. But the fact is, our country was built through many different phases, and it's just projection. The Democrats are trying to point everything at Trump right now. The whole talk of the town is the files are going to be about Trump. That's what everyone believes. They believe that Epstein and Trump are the only files that are going to get released. That's a bullshit lie. And when you got Adam Schiff coming out, you got Hakeem Jeffries, you got the whole Democrat Party saying, yeah, release the files, but they don't realize the implications that this is going to create, because once you open this box, you can't close it. I've said this over and over again, because the beauty in this all is, if Trump was guilty, he would have never mentioned it early on before it was a thing. He wouldn't be constantly bringing it up, naming names. He's saying, hey, Prince Henry. He's saying Bill Gates. He's saying Reid Hoffman. He's saying this Tommy guy. Like, he knows them. He was part of that circle. He threw Epstein out of his club once he realized he was taking people that were working at his place and them coming back and saying, hey, this guy's a creep. And he got kicked out. Like, Trump has bumped shoulders with everyone from Rosa Parks. He's bumped shoulders with Muhammad Ali. He was with the blacks. He's with the Jews. He's with everyone. World leaders before he was a politician. Trump was like a staple of America, and he hosted so many events at his properties. Like, Trump was known by the entire world, celebrities, politicians, world leaders, before he was even in politics. So you got to realize, Trump would bump shoulders with just about everyone in the circles because he's a businessman. Like, that's what businessmen do. The more connections you got, the better it is. So we got a question here. Are we really going to get the list without it being doctored? I'm not in the government, but the thing is, with these files, you're going to have to compile from the FBI. You're going to have to go with the Southern District in New York, because Epstein had properties all over the world. So you're going to be compiling evidence from the Little John Island, or whatever it's called, the famous Epstein Island, the police in that area. You have Palm Beach Police Department. You're going to be collecting files from all over the place. This is a really big story. It's a really crazy event. And everyone that just thinks, oh, slam of a hammer, the governments have released the files, you're not going to get them tomorrow. I'm sorry. You are not. You might get some stuff that was kind of sealed immediately, but it's going to be nothing compared to getting all the police department files, all the agencies like the FBI, I'm sure the SEC, all kinds of people were collecting information. But the number one thing I would say is the grand jury testimony. The thing that convicted Epstein and Maxwell was based off of victim testimonies. That's going to be naming names. That's going to be the juicy stuff. So when Trump first was like, hey, release these files, as soon as the DOJ went to release the files, a Democrat judge said, hey, we are not releasing these. They're not needed. So literally, Democrat judges, like always, just stopping bullshit. But this This is important stuff right here. I'm pretty sure this goes over that, Judge. No, this is what the release of the files are gonna go like. We already seen it.
Videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently going through that. I haven't seen that statement.
So there's a lot of juicy shit. I'm telling you right now, if I was Trump and his administration, the number one thing I would do is I would persuade the Democrats to force this to be brought out to the light. Because if Trump came right in and started going after people on the Epstein list, he would be seen as someone that is acting in revenge. He has retribution. These people are his enemies, and now he's going after them and arresting them for this whole Epstein thing. And the Democrats would have said, this is a hoax. He's using it as a means to go after people he don't like. So literally, once he saw the delay, because think of how long it's going to take to redact all the victim names. As soon as the Democrats saw that there was a delay in the release of the files, they were like, hey, I could use this as a tool to make Trump and his administration look bad, saying, hey, why aren't you releasing the files? And we're all going to see, even with the Democrats given power to help release these files, it's going to take a long time. But he saw that once there was a delay, the Democrats all of a sudden became interested. So I would use that as a tactical advantage. If you know anything about the art of war, which Trump mentions throughout his entire life, it shaped how he does business. The art of war says, hey, you want to take someone that is wanting to accomplish something, and you're going to let them think they are doing it on their own. So literally, by the delay and the reaction of the Democrats, I would say, hey, let's lean into this. Let's step back from it. Let's delay. Let's get them screaming. Let's get their entire voter base going out and say, release the files. Because for 6 years, we've been saying, release the files. Release the Epstein list. Give it to us. We've been screaming that. And Democrats always said, oh, that's some QAnon thing. You think these political elite cabal people do all these gross things? You're saying Bill Gates and Prince Henry does this stuff. You guys are delusional, and you believe this QAnon stuff. So I've been screaming for the release way longer than the Democrat voter base has. But hey, finally, we have united under one thing. And if you think that's a pretty cool thing, that the left and the right have now come together on one thing, tap the screen, show the love, because it's pretty cool that we finally found something we could see eye to eye with. And I appreciate that. I think there's going to be some other things, but also I really believe once people start getting held accountable, the Democrats are going to flip on this, and they're going to say Trump is going after his political opponents. And that is the beauty in this all. This is the most amazing part, is because once he starts bringing down the hammer and the DOJ is going after people for this, they can't say it's Trump's fault, because we got Adam Schiff. We got Jeffries, we got Schumer, we got everyone crying for these files. So they can't play like it's Trump. They cannot do it. It's just not going to work out in their favor. And right here, look how excited old Shifty Shift is about this. It's going to bite him in the ass.
Bill compelling the release of the Epstein files, and the vote was overwhelming.
On this vote, the yeas are 427, the nays are 1.
We have some breaking news to tell you about from Capitol Hill. The bill to release the Epstein files has passed by unanimous consent in the United States Senate. It now heads to Donald Trump's desk.
So right there, guys, isn't that magical? They're going to be able to look back and point to all these Democrats screaming to release this information, to release these files. And once people are being named in these files and these crimes that were committed, how can anyone ever say, hey, Trump is going after his political opponents? It's Trump's hoax. It was Trump's idea, because Trump played them perfectly and got the entire Democrat voter base and Republican voters, just like myself, to all scream to release that list. And they can't blame Trump, because all these Democrats were screaming like wild howler monkeys to have this shit released. And I love it. But this right here is exactly what I've been saying. And Mike Johnson nails it perfectly. It was huge.
The Democrats had every one of the Epstein files in their possession for the 4 long years of the Biden administration. The Biden Department of Justice had the files the entire time.
That's right,
And
Eve.
not a single one of the people who are so loud and animated right now, they never said anything about it for all those 4 years. None of them held press conferences. None of them demanded the release of the documents. And under Biden's DOJ, when they prosecuted just Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, not a single one of these Democrats or any of the proponents of the discharge ever made any noise about that at all. So it's fair for the American people to ask the question, why now? Why suddenly are they so interested? They have such an urgent interest in the Jeffrey Epstein matter. The truth is simple and straightforward and obvious for anyone who is willing to look at it objectively. Clearly, this is a political exercise for Democrats and a few others, sadly. And it is as deceitful and dishonest as their pointless stunt to shut down the government. Same ideology behind this. Democrats are trying to...
Mike Johnson absolutely cooking. I mean, absolutely cooking, throwing out the facts, and it's gotta hurt. All those Democrat politicians that were playing this charades with the government shutdown. This is a Republican shutdown. Bullshit. Because as soon as it got open, all of a sudden they were like, these 8 Democrats are traitors and they should be primaried because they reopened the government. We all know that it was a Democrat shutdown. We all know that now. It's the same tactics when they were saying, hey, wear 3 masks, stay 6 feet apart, Russia collusion, the first impeachment, the second impeachment. It's just endless lies from the Democrats. And I don't know how long you could be a Democrat without having like a brain that could do a backbend, because it is so flexible and malleable, and just you do mental gymnastics to even keep up with the Democrat Party. And they're all delusional, old ass fucking weirdos that just say the weirdest shit all the time, like this Hakeem Jeffries. Like, what is that? Who is that guy? This Hakeem Jeffries, like, is delusional. They call him Dollar Store Obama. I think it's hilarious because he sits up there and tries to be all polite. The thing is, most of the people in the government were all nerds and geeks in school. We're literally being ruled by the nerds, and it's disgusting. So I want to hear what you guys think. I'm going to finally look at the comments. I suck at that because I had a longtime friend pop in here the other day that I haven't seen in a while, and he sent me a screenshot. He's like, dude, I saw you on YouTube Live. But I never look at the comments, so this guy is rage baiting. No, I'm celebrating the release of the truth. And it's in so many different layers. Like, I can't wait for the names to be released from the Epstein list, but also I love the facts that are getting thrown in the Democrats' faces by Mike Johnson and everyone saying, for 4 years, you had everything. You had all the files. You had the FBI, the DOJ. You could have released all this shit all on your own. You didn't need no help from any Republicans. Trump wasn't in the picture, and you didn't release shit. That is the most golden thing. Again, you drank the Kool-Aid. I prefer grape Kool-Aid. If you guys want to donate to my Kool-Aid consumption, I would love it. Just send it to my address. It's 1542, go fuck yourself, Lane. Area code is USA red, white, and blue, baby. Oh, the whole Trump blue Bubba thing, that is funny, man. It's funny. I mean, just the visual is just, if it does come to light that it's all true, I don't care. I do not care. Trump is just a man. Men are corruptible. We all know this in the world, that we're all evil to our core, and the only thing that could save us is God's grace through Jesus Christ. So I'm not even going to pretend like he cannot be corrupted. He is not a perfect man. We all know that. And if he does go down, I still applaud him for the great job he's done for our country, his vision for the future of the Make America Great Again movement, which is not going to die with him. I promise once Trump's gone, we're only going to make this country run better. This place is going to be absolutely fucking cooking. America is going to be the hottest place on earth. We got trillions of dollars coming into our country. And you guys aren't going to see the effects of it until all these factories and businesses and this money's that's dumped into our stocks. Like, America is going to be a rocket ship, absolutely. And it doesn't matter if he's in the picture or not. America has been set on a path that is not going to change, because all these Gen Z homies that are watching this right now are going to change America. Everyone said this generation is screwed. Bullshit. I think this new generation is going to be one of the greatest generations, because it's how it works. Good men create easy times create bad men, and bad men create hard times, and from hard times come great men. And we're going through some really tough times right now, and people are looking at the reality. They're looking at what fucking matters. And if you're out pursuing a career that's going to get replaced by AI, and all of a sudden you've lived as a single liberal woman your whole life, and all of a sudden you lose your fucking career, and you don't have a kid or a husband, and you're no longer wanted. You're no longer going to be wanted. You are just going to be this used up part of a generation that did nothing of substance. So I think this generation is seeing what matters. They're looking far ahead, and they're saying, let's use common sense in everything that we do. And they're seeing that the Make America Great Again movement is full of common sense. We're not focusing on people cutting their peckers off. They're not focused on LGBT alphabet bullshit. They're saying, what affects my life? And for someone that wants to help the human race by repopulating and creating the next generation of Americans that are going to help fuel even their social security programs, or just the preservation of our race, like the human race. But I never look at these comments. There's just so many retards in the comments that it's kind of hard. It's like these people just watch TikTok influencers, and it's become their source of news, and they just have no discernment. You need discernment. You need to understand what you're looking at. And right now, everyone that releases taxes, yeah, Trump's taxes got released, and what? It's endless hoaxes. That's why he kept saying Democrat hoax, because what they're trying to do is to get this out to the public and get everyone focused on it. It's deflection. When something happened, they want you to look over here and not pay attention to what's going on. This 100% is a very important thing that got to get released, but the timing is showing that the Democrats are just trying to stick their pinky in your little brown blinking eye and distract you from what's going on, because they use you as puppets. They take your emotions, they feed you some bullshit. You're like little mushrooms sitting in the dark, and they just feed you whatever they want to feed you and make you feel how they want you to feel. Like these No King protests. Like, that's a perfect example of how they're able to manipulate how you feel and turn it into manipulating of what you do. They're creating action through their words. And if you don't see how the Democrats use all the same language, every single politician. Hold up. I feel like Gavin Newsom with the hands right now. I need calm down. Calm down. I don't know what to do with my hands. But anyways, they use these language to incite feelings, and they all use the same language. We've all seen the videos where like 100 different Democrat politicians, influencers, all said the same thing line for line. And it's because for generations, the government's learned exactly how our brains work. If they do A, B happens. They know how the human race functions, and they know if they do this, they're gonna get this reaction. It's a science, it's political science, and they know how to persuade your brain to feel a certain way. And right now, we need more critical thinkers. We need people that could look past being politically correct and worrying about what your fucking weird friend thinks about you. They're not going to be in your life. They're going to be gone. All these people you're trying to hold yourself up to a standard and seem like a good person, they're not going to be in your life. They're going to disappear just like everyone else. So, what else is going on in the comment? Trump repeats lock her up. Hey, Trump's always been a very, very common sense guy. He's always said, if I arrest Hillary Clinton, it's going to be very bad optics. The world's going to look at us like, oh, they just arrested a president's wife. Like, I understand that looks very bad, but me, personally, I would love to see her arrested. I would love that. But us, the average taxpayer, the people that just go to work, or these people that are just staring at their TikTok all day long, they don't have a job, their snaps are back on, and they're just slinging freaking food stamps like they're at a titty bar. But anyways, they take the average person and they give them a complex problem, and all of a sudden they have this simple answer. It's like, oh, everybody should have health care. Very, 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 very complex situation, and everyone has a simple answer for it. And that's not how the world works. Back when I was a Democrat, liberal-minded person, I was saying, yeah, everyone needs healthcare. It's a human right. Like, who doesn't feel that in their heart? But when you look at the problem, yeah, just throw a bunch of fucking money at it. That's going to fix it. No, it's not, because like Trump's saying right now, you do this universal healthcare, all these healthcare companies are going to make all this money. It's just literally going to enrich the system. And when the government's stuck footing the bill, they can charge whatever they want, because it's like communism. There's no free market. It's cornered, and they could charge whatever they want. But it's cool. The government's paying it, until you realize, when you look at your pay stub and you see how much money the government takes out of your check. Now take a second. Imagine this. Let's take the shuttle of imagination. Let's pretend we're a Canadian, all right? And we're not allowed to speak freely. We have cops showing up at our doors for saying shit online. We're not allowed to see certain media. They only show you what they allow you to see. On top of that, they took away your right to protect yourself and got rid of all guns. And on top of that, you look at your paycheck and they take half your money. Cool, you got health care, but you go to try to see a doctor, and when the entire nation is on one program, good luck trying to see your doctor. Go onto Google, Grok, Chat GPT, whatever you want to do, and ask how many people died waiting to see a doctor in Canada last year. You're going to be blown away. And when you look at socialism, and the common sense thing is, just tell any young person, you don't got to debate why capitalism versus communism bullshit. Just say it's never worked. Plain and simple, kiddo. It is a great concept. It sounds great, but it does not work. And we've seen it over and over again. Look at Venezuela. Look at all these countries that were thriving. They're doing wonderful. And all of a sudden they adopted this this mind virus where they're like, yeah, let's be super liberal. And liberal means acting based off of feelings instead of common sense. And we're all starting to wake up to that. Even you liberals understand that you're thinking from the heart and you're not thinking from the mind. Because, yeah, I would love to feed everyone in my neighborhood. I would love to provide free food for everybody, but nothing's free. Where's all this food coming from? Who's footing the bill? So, anyways, there's going to be a rude awakening. It's going to be magnificent, but it's going to be scary. So, if you're listening right now, you got to think of the fallout that's going to come from the release of these files. You do understand that it's not just Trump. It's not about Epstein and Trump. It's going to be world leaders. It's going to be major CEOs. It's going to be celebrities. It's going to be politicians on the right and the left. You cannot pretend like this stops when he's named. And we all know that Trump's in the files. I knew this for 6 years. As soon as I started researching into the Epstein list, I saw files with his name in it. All right. It was showing that he flew in his plane with his entire family down to his casino. And when you look into the story, the casino says that as soon as Epstein arrived, Trump said, hey, those girls are underage, and they weren't allowed in the casino. He bumped shoulders. He was doing business as a businessman, but he wasn't partaking in the bullshit. And like multiple victims have said, everyone's asking. The whole thing was, hey, what about Donald Trump? And they said, yeah, we saw him with Epstein. They would interact. They were at events together. But you also got to realize that Donald Trump was bumping shoulders with Muhammad Ali, with Rosa Parks. Like, Donald Trump has a picture with just about everyone. And hey, you're a playboy billionaire in New York dating supermodels. All right. You're living life, the biggest developer in New York City. You're hosting all these events. Some guy comes over saying, hey, that chick's pretty hot. We all got that guy friend, that is a horn dog. And yeah, you sit down, check out chicks, bullshit, do that man talk. But yeah, that's just what guys do. They brag, they talk about hot chicks. And if you don't, you might be drinking a little too much soybean milk. You might be eating too much tofu. You might be wearing polyester clothing. Your balls might be like shrinking up and shriveling up. And you just don't have testosterone. But hey, I'm not condoning having those sick thoughts. I feel like you should pray it away every time you're looking upon anyone with lust. It's not wrong to appreciate beauty. I do it all the time. I love beautiful people, men and women. I appreciate beauty in animals. The horses I have are the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Sunsets. You're allowed to accept beauty. But when you start doing these perverted talks, which we all know Trump does, like he's a nasty talking person. And we could all agree with that Trump has a bad mouth on him. But hey, that's something I do appreciate about him because he speaks from just off the top of his head. He's not politically correct. You take a look at Gavin Newsom, that guy literally will just have a script. That guy runs on a script. Hey, what could I use for sound bites? How can this advance my political career? He's the most ingenuous person I've ever seen. I live in California. I saw that he screwed San Francisco. He was lieutenant governor. He was governor. He completely took a state that had like $160 billion surplus of income. Like the state was thriving. Like California was the hottest place in the United States, bigger than other countries' GDP. And all of a sudden, in a year, he became $60 billion in a deficit, like completely screwed the state. So if you want to vote for someone that completely fucked San Francisco and turned it into a shithole, and then took one of the most beautiful states in the United States and completely fucked that one too. Go ahead, vote for Newsom, see what happens. Me living in California is disgusting. Not the homeless, not the bullshit, but the regulations. Like what you got to do to own a business in California is absurd. Look up carb testing. Twice a year you got to test your vehicle if you have a fleet. Like all this environmental bullshit. It's not even for the environment. You literally just pay someone that does nothing and then you could go and do it. They don't check anything. They have all these regulations and they don't enforce anything. But anyways, if you are on the right or if you're on the left and you're pretty stoked that we're finally going to get the truth of the Epstein files, regardless of what turns out, like you got to say, if you're a Trump voter, hey, it is possible he's guilty of bad stuff. I stand here saying, hey, entirely possible. I wouldn't look past it. I don't care. I'm for our country and making it great again. I don't care about a person. He was just the vessel to start the movement. So if he's named doing crimes, so be it. But if you're excited to have accountability for everyone, including world leaders, CEOs, politicians on both sides, if you're pumped about this, let's see some taps on the screen, guys. Like I want to see some hearts, or I want to see some comments of some fist, because we're right there, guys. We're about to find out. And is it going to be the truth? I don't know. We don't know. And the best part is you don't know who's guilty. You don't know who's innocent. You do not know. You have this made up image of what you want to happen, and we all suffer from being a hopeful thinker. So we got to get hit with reality. Thoughts on Trump blowing Clinton? That would be wild. That would be insane. But if you take a look throughout history and you look at leaders and powerful people and what they do, I wouldn't say it's all that crazy. Just the perspective, the visual of Trump doing that act on Bill Clinton. I don't know why he would do that. Personally, I wouldn't. That's not something I'd partake in. But hey, that anything's possible in this world. But the visual, it's not something I like entertaining. But why would he do that? Like, he's always about status. He's always about his ego. Trump's very egotistical. Why would he do that? Like, how does that make him look good? Unless he really thought Bill Clinton was hot, which we all know he's not. So, yeah. Anyways, what's going on? Trump likes women. Yeah, well, I agree. Yeah, it is it, con Julia. Plenty of men on the down low. There's a lot of people that are closet or just do these freak parties, but being that Trump doesn't drink or partake in illicit activities, I don't think a sober person would look at Bill Clinton and be like, yo dog, drop the drawers, let me show you how to suck a golf ball through a hose. I don't see Trump doing that, but it's possible. Isn't he already guilty of 30-something felonies? I guess he wasn't sentenced. So that's an important thing. You got to realize that they tried going after his personality with the Fine People hoax. All the grabber by the pussy bullshit. Like, they were going after him personally. And then it turned into impeachments. And once they tried 2 different impeachments, which failed because they were making bullshit up. I mean, it's all coming to light. Hillary Clinton was making shit up. They were running with fake dossiers. They tried going after a phone call that actually had a transcript. And when you read it, it wasn't anything that they were saying. So that's why the second one failed. Then they start going into lawfare. They start going after his business, his family. They raided Mar-a-Lago. They were going for documents, top secret documents that he declassified and had the right to have since he's the president, because even Joe Biden, a vice president, had classified documents, which is illegal, but they didn't do shit. Anyways, they started going after him with Alvin Bragg, Fannie Willis, so all E. Jean Carroll. They were trying absolutely everything they could to get Trump, and we all know they were just trying anything they could. And once it hit a court and a jury and they saw, it was bullshit. So the 30 felonies, there was no base crime. There was no crime to, it said falsifying documents, but there was no base crime. It's bullshit, just like everything else. And the whole Epstein thing, since I got you guys right here, this is going to hit home for every person. So if you have a very fragile mind, you might want to swipe and get the fuck out of here. Because the fact is, if Donald Trump was guilty of any of this shit, they had the files for 4 years, and they would have found anything they could to stop him from becoming president a second time. Let that hit home. What do you think about that? Ed West says he's guilty. If he was guilty, we would have learned before he was running for president. Any sane person can take that sentence and internalize it. If he was guilty, we would have heard about it before he ran for president the second time. Because they tried the lawfare, the personal attacks, going after his family, going after his business, and even to the point of trying to assassinate him. If they had anything on him in regards to this, we would have already heard it. Does that make sense? Does that hit home? Do you understand? Can you comprehend the words that are coming out of my mouth? That's what I thought. Amen. That's right. 100. Tap that screen. Bro, the jury convicted him. On what? On what? No one can answer what the law was. What law did he break? He was held civilly liable. That's just, he wasn't allowed to entertain his side. He wasn't able to inject evidence. He wasn't able to scrutinize the evidence. He was literally just sat in a court where these people in a super liberal city, they picked the most liberal judge, the most liberal part of town. Of course, everyone hates Trump. Like, come on, common sense, man. Touche, 34 felonies. Count felonies. In the most liberal city there is. Wow. I'm sure they can make up the most bullshit lie, the most extravagant crime, and pick the most liberal city, the most liberal judge, and they could get him convicted on something he never did. And we all know that. Anyone that is all cops are bad or Black Lives Matter, like, you guys say the justice system is corrupt. Like, it's, you guys are just, you only see what you want to see. And I don't know what the fuck you're seeing. You're living in a fairy tale. It's a fugazi. It's fucking fairy dust. It's bullshit, and you know it. But hey, whatever tickles your pickle. God Almighty Israel lives. Glenford, are you one of those black Israelis? Is that what you were? Get a hobby, bro. Dude, I have so many hobbies. You don't even know. Have you done 6,000 skydives, 200 base jumps? Have you done backflips on dirt bikes, bicycles, snowboards? Have you speed flew down the mountains multiple countries? Have you traveled all over the world? Were you a SAG-AFTRA stunt performer in movies, TV shows? Can you ride horses, ride bulls? Are you a champion indoor skydiver? Like, bro, I got more hobbies than you, I promise. I got a safe full of everything you could think of. Don't hit me with the hobbies. No, the E. Jean Carroll's gonna get overthrown. It was bullshit. It's gonna get retried. That was bullshit. Anyone that could look at E. Jean Carroll back at the age that she said this happened, she was something like 34, like 40 years old, or maybe 50. I think she was 50 years old when she claimed this happened. A loony. Like, have you seen E. Jean Carroll's house? She literally painted all the trees around her house blue and painted a fake river in the dirt, and she writes fantasies, and she can't stay in base reality for more than 10 seconds before she starts going off about wild shit. She couldn't name the date it happened. She can't name what she was wearing. She can't name anything. She was literally just a loony that said Trump raped me, and they just ran with it. Like, she was disgusting. At the age her and Trump were when she accused him of this, he was a playboy billionaire with models, supermodels all around him. He had options that you couldn't even imagine having. And you think he's going to go with this E. Jean Carroll that was over the age of 25, 30? Like, common fucking sense. That's what I've been saying, guys. The left doesn't have common sense. Dictatorship state. What do you mean dictator state? California? That's right, Alvin. Dawn up Blue Bubba. Yeah, run with that. Run with that. You guys fantasize about Trump nonstop. Even once he's out of office, you guys are just gonna fantasize about him. And now you got a new fantasy of in your mind just watching him on Bubba. That's what you do. I love it. Fill your brain with it. More Trump in the liberal brains. I love it. Dial 1-800-AUTO-PEN. That's right, Swagger. Duh. I will protect the angels. It's going fast. I think Trump didn't participate, but he knew about it. That's right. Whoever just said that, he knew about it 100%. And when Jeffrey got first taken down, Trump was giving depositions. He was giving sworn testimonies on what he knew. He was right there immediately, not holding back. He said, this guy did some really weird shit at my place. I know his friend group. I know what he does. And if you watch the interviews with Epstein, they ask weird shit. Have you ever seen Epstein sitting there all, I'm Jeffrey Epstein, Durka. Anyways, they were like, what is it shaped like? We heard it's shaped like a football, where it's thicker in the middle and kind of pointy and thin at the top. Have you seen those? That shit's hilarious. But anyways, they were like, hey, has Donald Trump ever been in a room with you and underage girls? And he pleads the fifth. And at first glance, you think, oh, he doesn't want to incriminate Trump. But once you know the facts behind the matter and the whole situation that was playing out, Trump testified against him. Trump was part of an ongoing investigation against Epstein. So he didn't want to incriminate and say that, yeah, Trump was there when I was with the victims. So therefore, he just shut the fuck up. He knows. Look at the new emails. It shows Epstein did not like Trump. With who's that Democrat person, that black lady from the Virgin Islands or whatever it was, that was texting Epstein during this whole grilling of Donald Trump, and he was coaching her on what to say. Like, Epstein did not like Trump. He did not like him. Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer multiple times have come out and said, hey, if he would have had something on Trump, it would have helped him out. And up to his death, nothing was exposed. So straight from the horse's mouth, straight from Epstein, he didn't have shit. But hey, we'll find out. But there is always a possibility. I'm not here to protect Trump. Like I said, he could fucking burn. I do not care. Do I believe he did anything with Epstein and the victims? I don't. I think he's spotless. Not spotless. I'm not going to say spotless, but they got nothing on him, because if they did have something on him, we would have already heard it, because Biden had all those files. The same FBI that was raiding his house, his wife's lingerie drawer, going through his son's rooms. They were raiding Eric Trump's businesses. That same FBI had all those files. That FBI under Biden did not like Trump whatsoever, and their mission was to take him down. And I promise, if they had something in these files, they would have used it. Let that hit home. Let that sink into your brain. They could have took down Trump and prevented all of this if they had it. So the truth is, if they had anything, we would have heard it already. That's my gut, my heart, my mind. Everything says if there was anything in there about him, we would have known. There would have been victims coming out, selling out to the media. There would have been witnesses that saw it happen coming out to the media. That think of all these people that come out up against Trump, like all these people claiming all this shit, and there's no facts to back any of it up. Like, don't you think they would be like, hey, I'm a victim of Epstein, and I got this story of Trump? Like, we would have heard this shit already. Come on, wake the fuck up. Why is Donna so sassy? Trump's sassy. He's sassy boy. Saw the list. 2017. Joseph, we need your sworn testimony. Get back here. Get back here in the comments. Where are you going, Joseph? Yeah, I saw flight logs from 2019. That's when I first heard about it. I saw all kind of flight logs. I seen all kinds of public documents about Epstein. Like, I've been cheering for this since 2019, nonstop. When you probably didn't even know who Maxwell was when she got arrested, or where she was, or in her mountain cabin. Like, none of you guys know any of this shit. All you know is Trump might be in the Epstein files. You don't know shit about it. You're just listening to these retard Democrat politicians that are just spewing bullshit. Plain and simple. I think it's weird that he visited the island? But when has he visited the island? When has it ever pointed to that? Flight logs never said he went there. He said he's never been there. The victim, Virginia, one of the most prominent people that got suicided this year, God bless her heart, like, she spilled her testimony. She voted for Trump. She was a Trump supporter. One of Epstein's longest victims, traveled the world with did Prince Harry. Like, she traveled the world. She was at every location, went with him everywhere. She was a Trump supporter. I'm not naive, brother. It's the facts. You could call it what you want. Here's a little video about it.
And forced to have sex with high-profile men, including Prince Andrew. For his part, Andrew has always denied D.E.V.III.N's allegations. She died by suicide earlier this year, but D.E.V.III.N's co-author says another powerful man came up in their conversations. Have a listen.
Did she mention President Trump at all in your discussion?
Oh, she absolutely did. She was a huge Trump fan because he campaigned on releasing the Epstein files.
There it is. There it is. One of the most prominent victims in this entire case, straight up, was a Trump supporter. She worked at Mar-a-Lago before Epstein picked her up. And not too long after that, Epstein got thrown out of his Mar-a-Lago club. Said, don't come back here. What you're doing. He was trying to pick up on girls and he got thrown out. He's got plenty of testimonies against Epstein. And we're all going to learn this because we've all learned that the Democrats blow up this thing to get morale or fury out of their voter base. They're radical fucking left idiots. They get all fired up about something, just like the Elon Musk thing. Oh, you guys were so spicy. You were so wild and badass. And then all of a sudden you just don't give a shit anymore once you start figuring shit out. But then they give you something else to chew on, and then you just chew on that shit for a while until you're sick of it. And then right when you're fed up with it, all of a sudden they give you some spicy headlines and some narrative that all of a sudden you're fired back up. You guys are useless idiots. That's the term for it. You are useful idiots. They give you something to get mad at. You get mad at it for a while, go back to normal life. Then they give you something else. Quit that. You are in an abusive relationship where they're using you and you're getting nothing out of it. That's right. Look at that. Look at all that. Laughs, kisses, ARW. Mwah. Better be a chick. MSM suckers, mainstream media suckers. It's not even mainstream. It's TikTok influencers like that Harry Nutsack. What's his name? Harry, whatever the fuck. He's Harry. All right. They're just sucking that shit up. Some fucking idiot straight out of college. He probably dropped out already because he's making so much money doing fucking ooh shit on TikTok. Ugh. That's what you guys listen to. That's your source of media. It's disgusting. But the best way to shut me up is, come on, let's bump up the fucking likes. You know? Yeah, if I hit 100 likes, I'll shut this shit down and I'm done talking. The left wants me to shut up. That's how you can do it. Just fucking tap that screen with your nose. Come on. Everyone tap the screen with your nose. Ah, got him. Harry Sissons. That's what it is. Harry Scissors with his tranny boyfriend. And who's the other one? The Dean. Fucking old floppy blonde hair. That's their news source. These fucking stupid kids that have never held a real job. They probably haven't looked at a pay stub. They probably have someone do their own taxes. They don't even know what's getting ripped out of their pocket. And they're just, they found a way to make money talking shit on Trump and being pro-Democrat. But I promise both of those people are going to switch to the right. That's my prediction, that Harry Scissors and that Dean Smithers guy is going to be on the right. It's gonna happen because they're gonna go into real life. They're gonna find that these liberal women aren't worth dating, and they're gonna be like, hey, I want a life with some substance to it. I want like a meaningful, beautiful life. I don't want to just sit in front of a phone on TikTok and just chat with idiots all day. And they're going to find some good conservative girl and they're going to wake up. You know how many friends that were hardcore liberals and they realized that it was just their friend groups and the girls they were pursuing that caused them to really get excited about politics, but then they find a good woman and all of a sudden they're conservative and they want families and they want their own house and they're not chasing the bullshit anymore. What's my real job? I got multiple jobs. I diversify. I'm an instructor, run an operation out of my family's property. I'm an operator. I I deliver, work on machines, operate them, dozers, excavators. Real shit. Like, do you have calluses? Does your hands look like that? Do you have those things on your hand? You don't. Your hands are probably so smooth you get to use it in your pants. I don't. I can't use my hands. Got to use my mouth like old sassy Donnie. Just there's a lot of conservative women. There's a lot. They're quiet about it. You guys got fat Southern belles. I'm in California. I'm surrounded by liberals, but in my area of California is conservative. If you see what happened with Gavin Newsom and this Prop 50 where they're changing the congressional map, is because more and more counties were going red. They were literally promoting a two-state option. It's the two-state deal where it was going to be West California and East California. I think it was going to be like Newer California or something. But anyways, where I live is red. It's very red. Ew. What country is that with the blue and the pink and the white? It just reminds me of like little boys and little girls, and right down the middle of the legs of the flag is just this white line, just like in between little boys and little girls. But one thing I want to say before I go is, what would be worse? Donald Trump with a 17-year-old girl, all right? Or some other very prominent, very well-revered person that took a 6-year-old girl? Ask yourself that. Trump with a 17-year-old girl, or someone that is super loved, super just revered. People all over the world admire this person, but he picked a 6-year-old girl. What's worse? A guy with a 17-year-old girl or a guy with a 6-year-old girl? That's what I want to know. 17-year-old girl or a 6-year-old girl? What one's sicker? What one is disgusting? Ugh. Like, you think someone's a creep because, you know, they hooked up with some chick that's under 18. Yeah. I would call my buddy, you're sicko, dude. You're sicko, but I wouldn't think they're completely fucked in the head where they should be off the planet. Let's just say that. But if I had a buddy that took a 6-year-old girl, that is someone that should not be on this planet. That is evil. You take a 6-year-old, that is disgusting. That is the foulest thing I could ever imagine. And even if you groomed her for like 3 years, where you like, you know, let her mature to 9 years old, and then you were like, okay, now she's 9, let's do this. His name's Mohammed, just so you know. One of the most revered, well-loved person in the Muslim community and the Islam. Their prophet, Mohammed, since we're talking about Epstein and pedos, their most revered person in the religion, Mohammed, married a 6-year-old girl and consummated the marriage at 9 years old. I bet we're not even going to see anything that disgusting in any of the Epstein files. Let that hit home real quick. All these people that are going to be all outraged about people hooking up with, I think the youngest I saw in the Epstein was like 14. If people are upset about a 14 or 17-year-old girl, you got to realize the Prophet Muhammad married a 6-year-old girl and consummated at 9 years old. 9. 9 years old. Ugh. A lot of people, atheists up on the edge. What religion's real? Like, how could you ever stand with a religion that does that? I don't know. But every other religion, if you think about it, it's all these stories of people that are trying to be like God, like the Buddhists. Their philosophy is to become like God. You look at the ancient Egyptians, they thought they were gods. You look at the Greeks and the Romans, and they thought they were rulers like God. And Hitler and all these people, everything like trying to be like God. But there's one religion where God wanted to be like a man and live a perfect life. How much more proof? How can anyone convince you to go with anything else but that? Jesus Christ is the one true God. I'm not saying be a Christian. That is a very loose term. No, you follow. You follow and you listen. It's not a title you hold, it's something you earn. Yeah, Iraq just passed a new law that allows marriage to 9-year-olds. Dearborn, Michigan. I bet Dearborn, Michigan has some child brides going on right now. Sick bastards. So don't stop with Epstein files. Let's do the Mohammed files. Let's take a look what's infiltrating our country. If your example of how to live is Prophet Muhammad with his 6-year-old, repent, turn away, get away from it. Who gives a fuck? Sharon saying who gives a fuck? Under 18 when you are an adult is illegal. So Sharon, when you were 16 years old and your boyfriend was 18, was that disgusting? Was that horrible? Or you were boyfriend girlfriend for 2 years when you were 16 and he turned 18 2 months before you, and is that illegal? Common sense. Like, just use common sense. Like, putting the hard line on the 18 is pretty weird. Like, I don't know. My girlfriend was like a year and a half younger than me when I turned 18. But 6 years old, 9, and he was 50. He was 50 years old with a 6-year-old. There's nothing in these Epstein files that are going to be as bad as that. I promise. Romeo and Juliet laws exist in some states. I almost got hung in a state that had such statutory bullshit. I think the age of consent in Nevada is 16. Someone just said Israel. There's states with whatever it's called, age of consent, different ages. But the thing is, 6 years old, 9 years old, 50-year-old with a 9-year-old. That's disgusting and no one talks about it. But I'm glad this Epstein shit's coming out. But the thing is, I used to think the island had like little like 6-year-old boys and they were doing all this weird, super weird cult shit. Like, they were having rituals and seances and this adrenochrome, and they were doing it for this snuff videos that would make them all powerful and be able to have all these connections, but they have blackmail. So if they want to play the game and become this super powerful person, they got to stay in line. I'm starting to think this Epstein files ain't that. I think it was just some freaking party animals, like, just kind of sick. Maybe not like child sacrifice bullshit. But you never know. You never know. It's going on all around the world. You know, they have some weird shit going on right now. Like, we're all sitting here chilling, staring at a phone right now. But there's some weird shit going on right now. Like, right now, as we're just sitting here, like, someone's slapping cheeks right now somewhere in the world. Someone's probably slapping cheeks watching this video right now. Stop it. Someone said he's high as fuck. Stop saying these. Someone's probably slapping cheeks right outside your window, Justin. You never know. The world's full of surprises. Record this. My boss wouldn't give a shit. He loves it. He loves it. I talk like this all day, every day. On top of that, I'm diversified. I got my own business. If I lose my other job, I don't give a shit. I'll lead into being my own boss. I don't give a fuck. I love my boss. I love working with him. I'm learning a lot of shit that's going to help me branch off and start my own business. I love him. He would never do that. The thing is, you guys were probably cheering for Charlie Kirk. I loved watching those people lose their jobs. But what am I saying anywhere near as sick as that? You guys are worse. Just remember, you guys are worse. The best part about the liberals is they think they're attacking these evil people. I'm fighting fascism. I'm fighting these racists, these xenophobic, fucking masculine, good-looking conservative men. Yeah, I'm fighting them. But they're really pieces of shit themselves. They don't see that. They think they're fighting these bad guys, but they're the fucking bad guys. Who impregnated Mary? Who? Read the book, man. Go deep into it. That's a great question. Go figure it out. Antifa burns books. Well, if you look at the first book burnings by Adolf Hitler in Germany, is go look that up too. Look up what books he was burning. Go look it up. You will be amazed at. I was always taught in school he was just burning all the books. Go look up what books he was burning. Ask the Talmud how Mary got pregnant. I think people got questions about the Bible. Go read it for yourself. I could tell you that she went into a in vitro place and she got a treatment to help her infertility. But the fact of the story is Joseph freaked out that she became pregnant because he said, I never, we have not done that. Know about the books they burned. That's what I'm saying. Look up what Hitler burned. What books when it started. And then dig deeper into the books and who wrote them and what kind of research he was doing and what he was doing. It was one of the first surgeries. One of the first surgeries. Went from that to that. Sick shit. Sick shit. They burned a bunch of transgender ideology bullshit, and they were having a lot of. Look up the bathhouses in Germany. Look what kind of weird, rampant, disgusting shit was going on in Germany. You don't get it? Just go research it. It's a simple type. Go on Grok and just go deep into it. Oh, that's right. Oh, geez, come on. 109 of you people just staring at me right now, and you don't have it in your heart to just tap the screen. You can do it with your middle finger. We're all celebrating that the Epstein files are going to be released. We're all united. Like, there's something that we could both agree on. And how is that not something to celebrate? That there's something both the left and the right are cheering for. Like, I think it's magical. I wish there was more things that we could unite on. Like, I could say, letting women compete in sports without men in it, but you guys aren't about that. Yeah, this is one thing we could agree on, so why can't you just tap the screen? Like, come on. Help a brother out. I'll say some of your stupid far left bullshit if you send it in the comments right now. I'll pretend like I'm a Democrat politician that will just say whatever, okay? There are a lot of simple types that MAGA wise don't do. And what is that Ding-a-ling Masterpiece Theater? It's a hell of a name. Ding-a-ling Masterpiece Theater. How long did you think about that username? Like, was a lot of names taken? Like, how did you get to Ding-a-ling Masterpiece Theater? And I don't know, there are a lot of simple types that MAGAs don't do. I don't know. Yeah, you think there's more gays on the right than the left? Is that what you're saying right now, Dingling? I'm pretty sure you got Dingling on your fucking username. You don't see no reference to Dingling in my fucking name. Get out of here. How about you go crash on Grindr? I don't even know what the fuck Grindr is. Is it that gay Tinder? ARW is back. What's up? Yeah, Dingling. There's apparently a lot of Devons, which I don't know many of them, but yeah, fucking snagged my username. So I just put some fucking dots in between it. Well, Woodsy Tom says, well, now they're gonna get upset because Trump's name's not in it. I think Trump's name's going to be in the files, but I don't think there's going to be any implications of crimes. There's a difference of just being part of an investigation. There's usually a lot of people involved there's witnesses, there's associates, there's people that collaborate, alibis, there's all kinds of people that are going to be named in every kind of investigation. I mean, you go take a shit in a bush somewhere, that the guy's house you did it is going to have his witness testimony. The guy driving by, your friend saying, hey, he told me to stop the car. Like, there's a lot of names involved in the investigation. Of course he's going to be in it because all the people that are going to be named, I'm pretty sure he's taken a photo with. Trump, I wish there was a number for how many pictures have been taken with Trump. We got Rosa Parks, we got Muhammad Ali, we got Al Sharpton, we got is Martin Luther King part of that list? Trump was part of every scene in New York. Like, the guy was literally about everything. So, of course, his name's going to be in it. Is he going to be implied of doing something bad? I don't believe so. But hey, let it. Justice be served to everyone. Jesse Jackson. I said Al Sharpton. Oh, shit. If he's guilty, I don't think he's going to get in trouble. I agree. I think if he's guilty, he'll pardon himself or some shit like that. But it's not going to be good for anyone, honestly. Like, when we start seeing major CEOs getting fucking held accountable, when we get celebrities that aren't going to be in movies anymore, world leaders, like, their citizens are going to be pissed. Like, there's going to be uprisings because people aren't getting justice. And if Trump were to pardon himself, if he's doing something illegal in this, people are going to uprise. It's going to be chaos. And that's why I've told multiple people, Epstein files released, now what? They're going to take time to redact the victims' names. It's going to get released from multiple agencies, police agencies, CIA, all kinds of agencies to get all these files out. Then you got to decipher all through it, find the names. Some company CEOs are going to get named. People are going to rebel against the company. It's going to tank. It will probably recover, but it's going to be a really unstable time. So if you got all your eggs in one basket, I would pay attention to this and see who's associated with your basket. And you got to remember, JP Morgan Chase is involved in this, like, major financial institutions. Like, you guys are cheering for this, but I don't think you know what's about to happen. So I would invest in something a little more stable through this period. If you're trying to ride some fucking single stocks, I don't think that's a really wise thing to do. I would probably pull out and go into something really stable during all this shit. And also got to see how these world leaders from other countries tie into our businesses, and it's gonna be a bumpy ride. That's all I gotta say. It's not just, oh, release the files, now we know, and then everyone just shuts the fuck up. It's not gonna be that. I mean, Americans are dumb enough for that. We've been put through so many traumatic experiences that I could see us just going, oh, that guy's guilty. Oh, and just continue on with our regular lives and nothing's going to fucking happen. But it's going to be a lot of fuel for certain candidates, and I believe it's going to piss off voter bases, and there's going to be no Kings protest, and the if the right starts doing protests, I'm going to be scared of that. Because, I mean, we're learning about January 6th, but if that really was just people on the right, like, if that's how the right protest, like, I'm scared to see big ones. That's all I gotta say. Unredacted, that's what I'm saying. Fuck the victims. They're all out in front of Congress saying, we are the victims. I believe if you're out there calling for it, saying your name, doing these Congress bullshit and all these fagoozis, whatever the fuck they're doing, I think their name should be redacted so it's a little more transparent. Like, this, taking all this time to redact victims' names, like, if they're dead or if they're out there saying I'm a victim, like, show us their names. January 6th was a joke. 100%. There's no doubt about that. Nobody who is still under investigation will have files released. Yeah, I could see that. That's probably how the chain of command works. If it's a current investigation, it's off limits. But it might speed up the investigation and the prosecution. That'd be nice. They want Trump's name to be on there so bad. That's right, Mark. That's right. They want it to be on there. But what they're not going to realize is that a lot of their Democrat colleagues that they put up on pretty high pedestals are going to be all over that shit. Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Bill Gates, Reid Hoffman, J.P. Morgan Chase. Fucking, it's gonna be pretty bad. I think so. Right here, Brittany Peabody says, there won't be any names. It's been tampered with so much already. That was my fear when Biden had those files for 4 years, because we were calling for them. We wanted them. And they weren't doing anything. The Biden administration wouldn't say shit. They were silent about it. And all of a sudden, when Bondi got put in and they were saying they were going to get all these files, and she starts saying, hey, it's taking a while, and all of a sudden Kash Patel finds secret rooms in a New York office where they never put a chain of command saying, hey, there's files here. Like, who knows what's the truth? Because in one aspect, Trump calling it a Democrat hoax, he's really good at predicting the future. And it is entirely possible that they completely fucking demolish these files and replace them with their own shit. They knew he was gonna look to expose it all. He was doing it with MLK, JFK, RFK, all those assassinations. He was mentioning he's gonna release the Epstein files, and they could entirely just demolished all the files and just put a bunch of bullshit in there and just made shit up that's going to take forever to verify. It's scary. That's right, Brittany. Look at Comey. I just can't wait for the rest of them. Keep it going. I want Schiff next. Christopher Wray, he needs to go. Hillary Clinton. And the big dog himself, Obama. I can't wait for it's already coming out with Tulsi, right? Right, Brittany? It's just a lot of information coming out about people. We had a hunch. We were kind of speculating that they may be pieces of shit. And it's true. It's true. We're right on that. Amen says currency reset. That would be one hell of a show. But one thing you got to realize is there's different stages to a reserve currency. It's a recurring thing. It's the same stages every time. I'll be real quick, but it starts with powerful military, which gains the attention of the world, and all of a sudden that country, now being so powerful, starts exporting a lot of products because they got the industrial revolution going. And then after that, people start adopting their currency as reserve currencies in their own governments, where they buy and trade stuff with that currency because they have a lot of faith in it. It's strong. But then all of a sudden, the people of that country start feeling rich and they start blowing their money on foreign items, and all of a sudden they start importing more than they're exporting, and then all of a sudden they start losing money, so they start printing it endlessly through quantitative easing and the inflation and hyperinflation, and all of a sudden the other countries start losing faith. And the final stage is, since they lost faith, now they want to find a replacement. This has happened with every reserve currency, and right now we're getting into the hyperinflation where the central bank is endlessly printing money, and they've said it nonstop that we won't run out of money, we'll just print more. because that's the real inflation, is because they print more and more money, so the value of a dollar becomes weaker and weaker, and that's why everything seems more expensive. But with the currency reset, if he were to anticipate that people are going to lose faith in the US dollar and it's going to collapse, that he could introduce a new currency that is now going to be seen as the stronger, smarter, safer thing to have as a reserve currency. And if he does do it in a decentralized currency, digital currency that is not central bank controlled, it's decentralized, then he could have that be the new face of the world as a reserve currency. And as it inflates and becomes very powerful, you could erase the debt. That would be badass. Bill and Hillary have been to the island many times. I agree. She is weird. Fuck. I can't believe people voted for her. That was wild. Presidents come and go. What are you going to do when Trump is gone? I've said MAGA is a movement. He's only a vessel that got it started, and it's going to breed an entire generation of people that have a standard of how our government is to be ran and how our politicians are to act. We no longer want the politically correct person that follows all the same verbiage and words that every other fucking president uses and doesn't cuss and doesn't speak off of his mind. He just reads teleprompter after teleprompter and gets ushered away by their staff because they don't want him talking to the media. Trump will talk to the fucking media for 2-3 hours where all of a sudden they give up. Trump will talk endlessly because he isn't going off of political correctness, and he's definitely not just reading some bullshit. He's speaking off the top of his head, his ideas, how he feels, and that's what we love. So when Trump's gone, we're going to bring in someone just like that, that's cleaner, that's smoother, that's younger, and that's a little more well-behaved. His name's J.D. Vance. He's going to be the next president. But after that, it's going to be a precedent that's going to be set of how people are going to behave. But the Democrats are going to copy it, and they're going to see what works, and then they're going to bring someone that's like that. But by then, hopefully, someone hijacks the Democrat Party like MAGA did to the Republicans, and all of a sudden we got two good competition, because right now the current Democrats are dog shit. They are horrible. They're disgusting. Even their voters know that the Democrat Party is completely fucking gone. It don't exist. The party of JFK is dead. It's no longer alive. There's no pulse. It's no longer there. It's just a bunch of fucking kooks that won't even clap for a kid with cancer, and they're not going to survive. The Democrat Party is dead. But hopefully someone sees the opportunity like Trump saw to hijack the party and create something that appeals to the people, because that's the only way they're going to be able to do it. So that's win-win. We're going to have better competition, and the only people that are going to win are people with common sense. It's not going to be transgender. It's not going to be this gay shit. It's not going to be any of that. Democrats are going to go back to what worked. So when Trump's gone, it's make America great again. And then once it's great, it's going to be keep America great. It's just going to keep rolling like a train 24/7, 365 days a week, nonstop, quarter after quarter. America's going to be a fucking rocket ship, and you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Even though you hate it, you're going to love it. JD's married to a Muslim. Hey, that could be in the cards. JD divorcing Usha for Erica Kurt. That would be a hell of a story. That would be wild. The universe will provide. It always does. Like Elon Musk says, The most insane outcome is probably the most probable outcome. It's probably going to happen. She's Indian. Indians could be Muslim. Indians could be Christian. Indian is not a religion. It's a nationality. I don't think Usha's Muslim. She might be Hindu. Fucking that's one of the... I mean, if there was a tier of religions, I think I would actually put Muslim above Hindu. Fucking six-headed fucking blue people, millions of gods. Like, no, sleeping with a 9-year-old girl. Yeah, I'll put Hindu above Muslim. Yeah, Muslim's the very bottom. Someone's talking shit on Elon right now. If you talk shit on Elon Musk, you have no brain cells. The guy's a fucking genius. The things he's creating, you do not know how big Tesla's gonna be. Tesla is gonna be fucking massive worldwide. Like, you think him becoming a trillionaire is crazy? Whoa, a trillion. That's nothing. Tesla's gonna fucking cook. Elon's going to put people on Mars. Elon's going to do the Boring Company. He's going to be doing the Tesla robot, the whatever the fuck he calls it, robo taxis, Tesla semi trucks. Like, the new Roadster is going to be insane. Like, if you're talking shit on Elon, you're a retard, plain and simple. Like him or not like him. You can't act like the guy's not fucking killing it. And people bitching about him becoming a trillionaire. That's because he's going to be releasing this robot. And this robot is going to be the craziest thing the world's ever seen through its next iterations. Because if you think about it, I could have robots out feeding my horses. I could have robots doing my laundry, meal prepping. I could have a robot working 24/7 doing everything I don't want to do for $20,000. Once you pay an employee minimum wage, that's like $38,000-$40,000 a year. And you got to get them health care and you got to get them unemployment insurance and all this bullshit you got to do. A robot don't need any of that. Just plug the motherfucker in. Plug it in. Elon's fucking badass. He's funny too. That's right, William. Elon is a funny dude. He's like way too hip for being the person he is. Like, it's kind of like, how does Elon have that position? Because he's kind of like some dude that's just chilling. If you think about it, he likes video games. He has all kinds of references for movies. He likes cool shit. Kids, lots of kids. I'd have more kids than Elon if I was him. I'd be pumping those fuckers out like they're Tesla robots. But yeah, he's got one hell of a position for what kind of guy he is. He's hilarious. The chainsaw thing, oh dude. He's gonna be in history for his own reasons, but looking back at the history books, it's gonna be fucking amazing. Like, if I'm like 85 years old, or fucking we lived 150 by then, look back and kids are learning about Elon Musk. Grandpa, why are you laughing at yourself? Just keep laughing, don't even tell him. I heard that, William, where he said he wants his rockets to be a little more phallus-like. Can we make it look more like, a shaft? Not like Epstein's football, but like more pointy. Yeah. Too bad he's playing for the wrong team. He's Joseph. He's playing for the human race. He's playing for the betterment of all of humanity. A safer, cleaner way to travel. Going to autonomous driving where it's going to save lives because the loss of human error. The medical advancements with Neuralink giving people the ability to articulate and to interact with their environment when they're fully paralyzed and be able to hear and see again, and fucking trying to get rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse that's getting taken out of my paycheck. Joseph, I'm pretty sure you don't work and that's why you hate Elon. But anyways, he's on the right side. You're not. But I do want to ask, do you like Huey Lewis and the News? I think their one single was amazing. It really gathered the essence of the era and put it in a way that was easily palpable to the average person to really understand what love was. I'm not going to do the Neuralink. There's no way. Hey, I don't like EVs. I think the future is hydrogen. I wish Elon would get on that hydrogen gang. Think you could just produce hydrogen at your house with your solar panels. I think it would be hydrogen hybrid EVs would be the shit. Because the only thing that comes out of a hydrogen engine is what? Water. I'd be thirsty on a road trip going to Vegas, just drinking out my exhaust. Cold fusion, if you could figure out cold fusion. I don't want a fusion reactor in my vehicle. I do way too many sketchy things to be doing something like that. Jacob's Ladder was a lot better tune. Joseph. What about Depeche Mode? The All I Ever Wanted song? Oh. When you dip down into your headphones or your surround sound system and you listen to that All I Ever Wanted song right after a deep, hardening heartbreak, there's nothing that soothes better than that song. I was heartbroken from a breakup just jamming out to that song. All I ever wanted, all I ever needed was you in my arms. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna have to go return some videotapes, so I'm gonna take off. Yeah, I think we're done here. I hope you guys have a blessed night. I hope you learn to root out the hate that's in your heart and to relinquish your mind from the people that spew narratives to make you feel a certain way. It's time to guard your feelings, to not let a stranger on TV manipulate the way you react. Because when they say something and you feel a certain way and it makes you do something, you're what's called a useful idiot. Don't be a useful idiot. Find your freedom. Find liberty. Get away from the control that these people have over your lives. And like I said, this whole Epstein files thing, like we're worried about these pedos, but there's a really revered person named Muhammad that married a 6-year-old girl and consummated the marriage at 9, which is far worse than anything you're gonna see on this Epstein list. Like, if you're thinking of Islam, you are following something sicker than the Epstein files, and you need to realize that they perverted the Bible, the previous Torah and the New Testament to create something similar and easily digestible, yet fucking sick as hell, that pulls people away from God. And you should see God, and God could be whatever you want it to be, but in the end, we're all going to realize who God is, and some of us know who God is, and that one true God is Jesus Christ, and he will free you from all your pain. He'll teach you forgiveness you never knew you had. You will rebuild relationships you never thought could be rebuilt. You will find an energy and a power within you to accomplish anything you've ever dreamed of, because I can do anything through Christ who strengthens me, and so can you. So anyways, God bless you guys. If you haven't hit the subscribe, love chilling with the people that been on here for a minute. You guys are hilarious. Love you guys. And go ahead, hit that subscribe. God bless. Pray tonight. If you haven't prayed, give it a go. All you're doing is just speaking. There's no certain way to pray. All you do is release the words that are written on your heart and just speak from the heart, and he will hear you even if you're not speaking. God bless you guys. I need to go return some videotapes.